Anakata, amazing. Thank you for joining me
Sure, my brother.
from the other side of the planet. Kapara on you. How have you been? Tell me everything. It's been what it's been? Almost 3 years, I think, since I saw
Yeah,
you.
probably when you were here and we made our we
Yeah,
started that track
and
that we never finished.
the R to the R to the H to the S. Yes,
Yeah,
okay.
doing good, man. How are you doing? You all right?
Good, good. We're very busy, very busy. But good busy,
Mhm.
but it's going very good here. We're uh, we're going for a second one, so the second one is almost here. So everything is like go. But yeah, that's probably the biggest thing that's happening right now. How have you been? Are you still working at Waves?
Still working at Waves, yeah. I moved
Sick.
to doing full-time marketing now, content creating, and
Voila!
yeah,
Wow!
yeah. So it's
I didn't realize that that's what you were doing there. I don't know why I thought what I thought you were doing, but
no, yeah. So
I
now,
didn't realize that that's what you were
yeah, now
doing.
I'm doing marketing full time, which is content creating and making ads for new plugins coming out, creative campaigns, all that stuff. Just cool.
Huge.
Yeah,
Do you design or you're on the like social media side of things?
a bit of both. There's so much stuff going on at any given moment. There's
Right.
new products, new plugins coming out all the time, and then there's other content that we're making with artists, and there's always something going on.
Right, man. That's so cool. I don't know why I didn't think that that's what you were doing. I guess I knew you're not a coder, right? You're not a
No,
coder.
not
You're
nothing like
like
that.
a
Well,
right, yeah. So I guess that
on
makes sense.
on the creative side. Um, but yeah, but it's cool.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I get to bring my input as a musician, as a producer, the way I
Right.
see the music industry and the producing industry in specific and in general, and my creative side, which is content and marketing in general. So something I'm always looking to learn and expand my skill set, and so yeah, it kind of like projects on the music side of things too, which is cool. On my own
In a
skill,
good
I
way,
mean,
I assume.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because then you gain that skill that's actually very important for the music side of things, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah. It's
That's awesome, man.
mhm.
I want to learn. What's the tricks?
I've
What's
seen you.
the what's
You
the
you
best tricks you
you had
got,
a
man?
you
What's
had a good
the
month going. I've seen you. It's amazing. It's funny.
Yeah, man, it's been like two months of posting content. It's genuinely not exaggerating. It's been life changing,
I'm sure.
and
Sure the
I'm on a
feeling.
freaking mission, man. Um, but yeah, it is amazing. But I don't go and edit a lot of content. My thing is because I don't have a lot of time.
Mhm.
The main thing I have is I think about what I want to post and how you can give value with the least amount of friction because I don't have time.
Yeah,
But that which is my whole thing is you're already spending time doing things. Just photo, just document so you can share the thing and that there's value within that. So for me, I don't actually know. Like your content is so much better, so much more edited. There's
better,
yeah, it's entertaining.
better is subjective because I see what you do, and
Yeah, but better is not a word,
yeah,
but
no, but
you know what I mean. Yeah.
it's funny because there's these two sides of it, and I think it's super important just to be consistent, and if you can do it on the fly
Mm.
without taking too much of your time, and just being present on social media, staying connected with your fans and everything, and also just getting into that kind of habit of making things, as you said, on the go, putting it out there. For me, yeah, it's a bit of a blocker actually because I need to go into deep editing and everything. Has a concept for me. Maybe it's because of what I do with waves that it kind of
Mm.
that. But I need to allow myself just to make simple things and just record myself if it's a tutorial or
Do you have
and put it out there. Yeah.
Do you have a system, or you just have an idea and then you just find the time to execute, and then until it's ready, you're not posting, or you're like every Monday and Thursday something has to be ready, yada yada.
Depends on what else I have going on. Um,
True.
because
Yeah.
I know how important it is, and I talk to everyone about it, and like all my friends, I don't post anything. Like I always get into them and try and push them to do it. But yet again, I also feel that if I have time to make music, it's probably more important. Like the
Yeah.
art, the creating, the making music, that comes first for me. And content
Yeah.
later. Content comes second. Um, in today's age, I don't know what is more important. But for me,
100%.
yeah, for me, making music is always better. Um, and yeah, sometimes I have an idea.
You're already making content for a living, just not for yourself. Like it's
Yeah,
already such a big part of your life. So like to find the juice to self promote in a way. Not only that self promoting doesn't always feel nice,
yeah,
and then you all so instead of making music, you need to choose to do this thing that you're already doing in your daily job. That's a rough
you
patch,
got it.
man. That's
You got to the heart
yeah,
of it straight
yeah.
away.
I can
Yeah,
only
it's
imagine.
it's a bit of an issue. It's also like if I'm doing something and I'm already in that mood after a day's work of content, so I can make my own stuff at the end of the day. That sometimes works.
Mm,
Sometimes I'm too tired. I don't want to touch editing. I don't want to open a camera. I don't want to do anything. So
true.
it really depends, but yeah, like I know. I think the main benefit for me is like the we can say it's all marketing in a way. So like the marketing language, how to
Mm,
appeal to an audience, making a good hook, making a good message and what you want to say. So those are values that I'm just always learning and engaged in them daily. So that helps me with my own content. And yes, as you said, sometimes I have an idea I want to make. So it's like sitting in the back of my mind. I have like a reference or a trend going on or something I want to jump on, that I save for a specific time. I don't really have, I should have a specific time of the week where I just make content consistently. That's the aim, but sometimes
mm.
it just doesn't happen. Yeah.
Right, yeah. Man, I want to know so much. What do you have like when you go and make content for yourself? You also go hook, or like do you? Because obviously there's ways of because you want people to see your content, and you want people that are not your fans also to see your content. Well, I assume, right? Like you put it out so it will in a way go viral, or like it'll be
Yeah.
that entertaining that people will share it. Do you think like that when you make your own content, or do you find that when you do it for waves, you work harder, and when you do it for yourself, you're just like whatever, I'll just this and put it out and
Mm. Well, for waves, it goes through other people that have to approve it, and there's a whole team, and it's a bit different. For
right.
me, I'm the boss. I decide. I think it also depends on what type of content. If it's like live footage from a show from the weekend, so
Mm-hmm.
there's specific things that I kind of learn and pick up along the way of what worked for me in the past. If it's a type of reel or it's just multiple shots in a carousel post. So that has its own kind of niche of content, which is show and gig dependent. And then there's
Mm,
also, I guess, campaigns for releasing music. A new release has a certain type of content and things that I want to make, which could be like behind the scenes a bit, explaining. So those things, there's no. I can think of the three first seconds, but there's no actual hook um, that you can recognize. I mean, three first seconds of a video or any type of thing should be interesting and engaging. Um, if it's just general something I'm trying to get, um, to go viral or just be entertaining or something, so I put a bit more time and effort into thinking and planning it. And that those
mm-hmm.
things again, it's really it depends on the feed and the trends that I'm seeing. So
Sure, yeah. Do you go after, like, let's say you released something, and you go into the insights to kind of see how it went,
Hmm.
and then you have another thing to release, and you did it again, and then you have the third one, and you're like, do you are you like redirecting yourself by like what marketing method worked more, or you just go with, I'm just gonna do behind the scenes and it's gonna look like this. Because this is all new to me, right? Like I would post the cover art, you know what I mean? Like I think I don't even know when the first time that I talked to a camera was,
Yeah.
and now I'm doing it so much, and it's yeah, I learn hips. And like I feel like now I know hips, but it's yeah, you're coming. How long have you been doing this, the content creation thing?
For Waves full time for the past year. I've been part time doing it like for 2 years, but I would say as myself as a musician, even with my previous project with Shivax, doing it for maybe 10, 15 years, it's always been very important for me
True, right.
to put content out there.
What a legend. Good job.
Yeah. And look, it also, I think it also really depends at where you are, like your mental state, if you're up for it, if you want to share, if you're, things are going well for you, you're feeling like you want to share. Um, yeah, it's, for me, again, personally, it's really hard to stay consistent just because, you want to do your best, but sometimes you just don't feel like making content. You want to put everything into the music or do this or do that. But going back to the insights that you said, I look at it to try and learn. There's all these different tools. You can see the graphs going, on Instagram, this reel compared to your average watch view or something, and things like, oh,
Yeah,
well, again, then it's hard to kind of analyze what was different or what went well, but you can get a feel for that.
fully.
But
It's a funny thing because you, in a way, I assumed that I would do that, and then I would just try to learn so much just so I wouldn't have to blame my music. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not, it's not that this track is worse. It's just that the campaign wasn't as
you
good, and
never
then I kind of,
you never know. Like
yeah,
also with
you
the
never
music,
know.
also with the content. This is also something we learn at Waves. Like we can replicate the same thing, and one time it flops, one time it goes viral. Just like with music, you don't
Yeah,
know what people will like. You don't know if it reached them, if they didn't like the track. There's so many, variables and things, unseen things.
sure.
Um, yeah, I think a good piece of advice is not to get like hung up on that too much. Um,
Yeah,
so, like I said, if there is something for a campaign, I want to post a behind the scenes. Even the last one didn't go so well. I'll still do it because I want my fans to see that. I want to be engaged with whoever's seeing that content in that way. And I think it also helps,
fully. I
I
love
believe.
stuff like this. Like I want to see. Like I find value in it as a producer.
Exactly.
So if you're followed by producers, it's even if they don't know you now, once they will know you and they like your music, they'll scroll through your thing and they'll like, oh my god, he's in his studio. I wonder how his studio is looking. What speakers does he use?
Mhm.
They see Ableton open. It's like, oh my god, I can see how he set up his project. Like it's always so exciting when you get like behind the scenes as a producer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess also for non-producers it can still be exciting, but probably not as
That's
much as
another,
for.
it's a very interesting topic. And I talk about it a lot with people on like the persona that you want to show as an artist.
Mhm.
Do you want to be like a tutorial guy showing other producers how to make music? Or are you making content to engage, people with the music, the culture, all those stuff, which is a very different
Mhm.
niche. And it's interesting if I want to show, but for the behind the scenes, it's also I could open a project and show like what I did there and how I got those sounds or this and that. But I think also for people who are not producers, it would be more interesting to see my creative process, what I thought, what I was aiming. So kind of talking about how it was made or what the idea was. Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, amazing, man. When you started with Waves, it came because you already did content creation for yourself. Like you started as
I,
someone that goes into the marketing
I
immediately.
started during COVID. I As tech
Right.
support actually. That's how I got into the company. Uh,
Oh, okay. Huge.
so yeah, so there was no, COVID, no gigs going up. I had to get a day job. After
Yeah.
10 plus years of full time music, it's a big change, but
Did you do music for 10 plus years before that?
yeah, from
Yeah, Shivax was big, huh? What's Shivax was like full on Cyclones? What was it? I
yeah.
can't even remember, man.
Actually, it had a lot of a lot of styles. I started with Goa trance, and it
Yeah.
was Psy trance. Then every few years, I kind of changed my style into what influenced me and what I liked. Um,
Man, you were in BPM as well, no? Didn't you do BPM as well?
2011,
Yeah, I forgot about
the
that.
EMP.
Yeah, man. We were like a year after or same year or something like this. That's so funny.
Yeah, so Shivax was 10 years up to COVID. And then there was nothing going on. I got a day job. I was really happy with the day job because
Mm,
it allowed me a lot of creative freedom, which led into my change to Cutterpiller and
yeah,
making bass music. Um, there's a lot of creative freedom when your livelihood is not dependent on your art. Um,
fully.
So yeah, it was a few hard years until I moved into marketing, doing a technical job, a support agent, and now moving into things that are creative, kind of blends in with how I want my day to look like, which is a huge relief for me.
That,
But yeah, but
That's amazing.
I'm keeping the day job mostly for I know it's like this for maybe 90% of the people, for music producers out there. But again, that there's like this ease of mind and just being relaxed about, you know, financially and all that stuff. And it really allows you to, I think, do the best version of your art, when you're
Mm,
taking into consideration the business side and, oh, is it going to be popular? Are people going to like it? Is it going to get me gigs, get me money, get me this, get me that? Um, I think those thoughts and approaches kind of temper with the best art that you can make as a musician. Uh,
right. Yeah.
and that's what I'm. Yeah, that's
Do you have like
100%.
do you have the thoughts of like do in your head would you go back to only music at some point? Like do you have like
You
a
know,
if one
you're
album
asking the
just
best
blows you up?
you're asking the best question. Of course, it's always there. I'm also like really playing with the idea of what needs to happen for me to quit my day job. Like, what is
Yeah.
success?
What would it take?
Definition. Okay, I got a
Yeah,
big
yeah,
tour
yeah,
planned for whatever. Let's say money would be enough. Let's say all of that. Also with the
yeah,
family now, I have a daughter, 5 years old.
yeah,
Flying around.
yeah. It's
Do I want
different.
that lifestyle again? It's a good question. I'm not 100% sure of
Yeah,
the answer. There is that inner desire to kind of, break through and be hugely successful and massive tours and all of that, because it's kind of what I'm aiming for, but I'm also aiming to just put out the best art and music that I can and let whatever needs to
yeah,
happen. I'm trying to block that out. That's kind of like residue emotions from doing music full time, from those 10 years.
mm,
But you were always trying to make it, always trying to push because it never ends. Like, okay, I got to this stage, I got to this amount of money. There's always the next peak.
yeah.
It's like you're never satisfied. Uh,
Which is amazing. That is like that's a great feature. Like that is how hungry you should be for anything in your life. It's just when you don't when it sucks when it doesn't fix all the other problems, and then you have to find hunger in yourself to do the things that doesn't make you feel as hungry. That's where I find it to be because it starts being a burden after, and that hunger doesn't actually lead you to being not hungry because there's all these other things in your life that need feeding.
yeah,
But yeah, because I'm totally with you, and it is because yeah, I guess with the touring with the family, that's probably the biggest one because like except Except that, like, if there is the possibility for me to do the music thing, which is where I'm going with right now. Like I'm full into doing this, and in my approach, there's this whole other aspect that we don't really do with the music,
Mm.
but I'm going in on it when you don't necessarily would have to. You don't have to have the shows all the time. Like I really think that we
Not being
can have
dependent
digital
on it.
products.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you know a lot. Especially you know a lot. Like if you would make a course about content, like how to make content
How to
for
make content. Oh,
musicians,
that's an
for
interesting,
example,
interesting idea.
I would I would watch. Do you know what I mean? Like that you have an angle that I'm very interested in right now, and it's such an important thing that a lot of other people, you know, you've done it for 10 something
Yeah.
years. You know, you work at it as your day job. Like anyway, for a lot of us, there is so much more in us than just releasing music. That when you're actually looking at yourself as a business for a second, like what is skill that you can bring, maybe you can actually continue with being yourself. Like the hunger can come, but like give it a little right
Mhm.
left, and it's still you being creative. But maybe you can have a digital product, and you don't have to leave the house all the time.
Definitely.
Um,
I think
yeah,
passive,
that's what I mean. That's what
like
I
passive income is probably the best thing, and if you can revolve it around digital assets, and it's interesting because if you can look at some of the best, I won't name any names, but like the biggest projects out there, they also have a website with things to download. They have Patreon. They have all these things to kind of support them on the side.
fully.
To not have so much, riding on the gigs and flying and leaving the house, and it takes,
Yeah,
I think that lifestyle, whether you have a family or not, takes its toll at some point. Um,
sure.
it's very hard, to avoid the burnout of that. Again, each one is individual. For me, I remember maybe the busiest month back then. I had 3 weekends back to back of flying out to a gig in Brazil, Europe, whatever.
Right.
It killed me. Like the actual flight, the actual flight,
Yeah.
traveling, the being away from home. I really don't know how people do it every single week. With multiple
Right.
gigs, I don't know like numbers of how many they do. I see people that are doing it full time. Uh,
Yeah.
there is like you doing only music, providing for yourself only through your art. But again, it's not. I don't think it's for everyone. I'm still asking the question for me if it's for me to go back to that. Um, but yeah, it's not the only way to make a living off gigs as a
Yeah.
musician.
And for you, it's not also it's like to find other thing that makes you feel creative. That's huge. Like that's something that I like. Not a lot of people like. Once you get stuck on Ableton or whatever it is that you do,
Mhm.
you're kind of like you find the thing, and you're like, I'm not leaving this behind. It's with you. It's the thing that it gives you that feeling that we all love when you make music. And I had it. I studied like web design the last like 2 years, web development and web design. I started doing stuff with Figma, and I remember after I got a bit good at it, I would go to bed and I would wake up wanting to see the design. You know how you wake up, you
Want to hear
woke
the
in the
track
night
from
on
last
music
night?
and you want to wake up and hear the track. And it happened to me with design, and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe something else in my life
Oh, man.
does this thing for me. Yeah, and it was, and that's after I don't know, freaking 13 years of one thing making me feel this feeling. So it really hooked me. It really surprised me, and it showed me that other things can make me feel that. Now I'm like super into business. Like I just love hearing about business stuff and like philosophy and stuff like this about content marketing, which is so the opposite of 13 years of me saying the absolute opposite of it. Like they're just not liking it on purpose. And you find other things that juice you up. The fact that you have that as a day job, something that juices, get those creative juices out. That's huge. It's such a, yeah, it's a very nice place to find
But
yourself.
it's also a very
I,
it's a very artistic form of being, like being open to receive and see what excites you. what makes you get that
Mm,
feeling in the morning to get out of bed and directly go do it. It doesn't have to be music, doesn't have to be art, like you said. Like you can find you
fully.
can find those things that excite you around it, and and yeah, and integrate them somehow in your even in your art and creation and your business. Um, I'm sure you can find ways. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
100%. I find it to be like that more and more, but I also know that like to tell someone that they can find business creativity within business, to tell that to an artist, that is, from my experience being me, I would immediately be like, "Pff, okay, and continue on. Like that, it took me 13 years to change my mind, and I had to change my mind. Do you know what I mean? Like, you need to find someone in a very particular time of their life for you to really go through to them, which is it's what I'm going to try to do now with everything, all my content. I'm uploading a YouTube video like right now that talks about this. Like I'm going in because I really understand more and more how important it all is. But my God, to change someone's opinion, like to change an artist's opinion about the fact that he needs to be a businessman, like that is, I really wish we would all understand it, but like it's so hard because for me it was very hard. Were you always like from the get go? Were you like very serious about it, or it's because you had, um, like you posted a track and people liked it that it just you up, or you're like, I am going suicidal on this. I'm just no matter what, I'm just going full blast.
it's interesting. It's interesting to get those two sides because I think artists in nature are different than like types of people than people who would technically be businessmen without any creative side of
Right.
things. It's just so different, and also depends where you are. Like if you're still figuring it out, and you you say to yourself, okay, music is a hobby, so maybe you don't have need for that. But for us, where we know it's a life choice, it needs to be sustainable in some way. Uh,
What made you understand that though? Like were you like that from the beginning? Did you understand that that's what you need to do from the beginning? Did you like doing it from the beginning, or you made yourself like it?
Interesting. For me, like music as a whole, since I was 13 years, 13 years old, started to play guitar and have a heavy metal band, and it just stuck with me. Moving into producing electronic music, like it felt that even if it wouldn't have worked out for whatever reason for me, I would still be in that space doing, creating, playing music. That's like a part of me that would have lived on regardless of what happened. And the passion I found with the connection with the crowd and playing shows and playing parties. It's this adrenaline, it's like a drug. That's
Yeah, that's the
it's
fuel.
the fuel. It's hard to shake off. You can feel this, leaving your house at 3 a.m., like half asleep, trying to stay up, and then you play the gig, and it's even later. You haven't slept, but you drive back, and like you're just fully pumped. This adrenaline of it's hard to say what it is. Like we can go really deep talking about ego and acceptance and all these things, but just for us, I think anybody who played his music especially, but just played as a DJ or a
Mm.
band and had this energy reaction from a crowd. There's something so special about it and so unique. So for me, tapping into that feeling, that's what led me to keep going, and it was pretty obvious for me that I'll keep doing it in any shape or form.
When you said the thing with acceptance that you don't want to go deep there, you I
Oh, we
actually never
can. We
thought about
could if you
that.
want.
But did you mean, yeah, we have time. You meant like you feel good because you have all these people accepting who you are because you're being vulnerable with your music and everyone's accepting you for what you just put up.
That's a good way.
Is that what you meant? That's awesome. I don't think I've ever thought about
That's a
it.
good way of putting it. No, you completed it for me. I didn't think of that either, but there is this kind.
All right.
No, because again, right now the place where I am, with my life, with my musical life, with my project, and it's very hard for me to fall into old ways of wanting more. Um, and I'm focusing on doing the best art that I can and just putting it out there and sharing it with people. Um, and whatever
Mm-hmm.
happens, it's not up to me. So it's like me, the music, the people. It's this triangle that I'm focusing on, and really
Mm-hmm.
trying to kind of block out any other negative things that can come in, because I have issues with that. And I'll be honest with you, it always creeps in.
Sure.
Um, Also, when we're talking about content and social media, like if something I worked on a lot didn't get as much engagement as I wanted, it can really get to me. Um, and so talking about that, I think it is a lot of also it's also ego and the need to be acceptance and to be liked, and you're playing this track, and did the dance floor have enough reaction and energy on it? Did the video come out good enough? Did
Mm.
enough people like the video on social media on Sunday when I
Yeah.
posted it? All these things that I really consider as negative things for me, because they can really mask out what's important, which is that triangle that I talked about, which is me, music, sharing it
Right.
with people.
Did you have that? Did you have that with Shivox in the beginning?
That
Did you feel as strongly about reaction back then, or that's something you grew into feeling more and more?
I think as I grew just as a human being. I started it very young. I started that around,
Yeah.
when I was 21, 22. Um, there was always that need for being accepted, also by the bigger DJs, bigger artists, not just the crowd. Um, and yeah, it always felt that's also another part why I'm kind of sticking to my day job. I'm a little bit traumatized from that feeling of a glass ceiling that you always want more, always try more. I always felt like I deserved more.
Mm,
I was blaming everyone but myself, or
mm,
seeing other people with you know much less experience than me, much better production value in their music, being so much more successful. All these things that
yeah.
are um, so hard to accept, and again bringing up all this negativity that really held me back and was hard to deal with, just in general. So definitely felt it back then. I'm again always aware of that because it's still creeping in back now, even when I don't need all of it, when
Sure.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
trying to block that out. But also, it's also working on myself, accepting the fact that I'm, you know, very vulnerable, very sensitive. That's who I am. That's my soul as an artist. I think everyone has a
Yeah.
need to be accepted. Um,
Yeah.
and again, yeah, it's hard to manage that, especially if you're just starting, especially if all of us, even if you're not an artist, day to day things, life, life, and
Yeah. All the life stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. It still does that. Yeah, man. When did you take it to the music side for a second? Like, when did the transition from psytrance to bass music came? Did you have like a one experience that set you off, and you're like, "What the hell did I just experience?" Or you slowly found more and more artists that you kind of like,
I think it was slowly,
that showed
slowly.
you a different path.
It was slowly, slowly
Right.
discovering the genre, discovering the music, the artists. Um, was our mutual friend Elad Kurdi, which brought me up to Kalia Sintila. I think that was the first like bass I ever heard back in India.
Dude,
Yeah,
same.
same,
Yeah.
nice. So yeah, even
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
back then, it was just when Shivak started to take off. So I was still like full on psytrance on the producer and business side of things and projects, but I was discovering bass. I played DJ sets at bass with Zduril and another project that I had. So
Mm-hmm.
starting to do a little bit of remixes and flips, and slowly growing into that that area of production and music. And I did those two things I would play a psytrance set, and like the next weekend I could have the Azdural set playing bass.
Right.
Slowly but surely, just my matter of taste kind of changed. I still find obviously like value in psytrance or like xenon or all these like four on the floor genres we can call them. Um, but my passion is truly bass music because of like what it stands for, because of the options that you can do when you open a project. Like you don't have these four kicks and this 5 BPM range that you have to live by, which I
Yeah.
love. I love that freedom. It also allows me to express myself better. I also know I can. My next album could be 8 tracks without any drums, just ambient sound. Like people will accept that. Like it's all game. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
I love that freedom. Um, and again, it's all about me.
It's such a funny thing. It's something we put on ourselves with these projects, right? Like I've started like 4 projects, and for all that anyone cares, it could have been the same name. Like not that I think not that it's a good decision or whatever, you know. Like obviously, if someone came to the psychedelic therapy music from like things to say about it, but like the amount of talk I have in myself, well, like even when I make like a Tribone track, and I can genuinely say sentences like, "No, Tribone wouldn't do this." Like I know,
You're literally
I know what
message.
Tribone would do. Tribone would do this. It's like there's a whole other freaking persona in the room, and he decides, and he's correct, by the way. Tribone wouldn't do this. Like that's why Tribone's Tribone, and this guy is this guy. But it's so made up, like I'm aware it's made up, but it is very comfortable to separate it so you can find freedom to actually not ruin the other art, that other name that served you in this way. So yeah, I totally get it.
It goes back to the business
it
side again, a little bit of like what you
mm,
want, because I am seeing a lot of people who want to do both worlds. So they have a different set. So it would be artist name, up
right.
tempo set, and they can do other things. Um, yeah. So having, I think in the States also it's a bigger thing where certain artists have the up tempo, down tempo, ambient. They have different types of sets that they can sell to the promoters, to the organizers. So yeah, having all of that under the same kind of name and brand and business, it might be the more logical thing to do on the business side. But
Yeah.
for me, it was also obviously such a big change. I was also when I decided to stop Shivax and do Cutterpiller. So it was the whole essence of the project was around that of exploring something new. And I didn't change like my Instagram page name or anything. I'm leaving that like open. That's what I'm telling myself.
Mm,
Like I'm not. It's a whole identity. It's a whole identity issue when you're
fully.
thinking about
Yeah.
names and how to present yourself and business and projects and all that. So for me, I just knew I wanted something completely fresh with a blank start to figure out what's going to come out of me and what I want to do. And whatever I did, it's like it's there. I'm leaving it. Um, you know, I might go back to it one day with what I've learned and what
Sure.
I want to bring in. Keeping options open. Yeah, for me that's
Nice. What are you working on now?
um, next EP to follow up on my album. So my album Rebirth came
Nice.
out on April, and I'm kind of going back into artistic discovery mode to understand what's the next part of the story. Um,
Right. Did you release the album with a label or you released it on your own?
myself. Um,
How did that come to be?
I think I enjoyed the freedom of decision with what I
Mm-hmm.
want the art to be, doing the masters, choosing the date. Um, I think labels have a you know, certain element of what they bring to the table. At the moment, I don't feel it's really for me. It might very
Hmm.
soon change, but um, it really depends.
It is a big part of it's a big
It's a
part
big
of
discussion to make,
branding, I
and
guess, when
branding, of
you're
course. But like,
yeah,
it's not even a question of it's worth it or like how to do it in this day and age. I think it's matter of preference of,
for you it's personal.
yeah, where you're at, what you
Yeah,
prefer. Um, I don't know if going through a label would necessarily mean a different result for me at this point or with this album. But I
hmm,
liked having, full creative control and flexibility around the whole process of
yeah.
releasing it. Yeah.
It's a big thing as well. Like that, this album. How long have you been working on
Cool.
releasing this, the Caterpillar to the world, man? It's been years. Like you've been
I
on,
think
even if it's not about the album itself, like just the project. I remember because back then we talked about
about
this
it. Yeah.
project is coming and brewing.
When you were here, I
Yeah,
just moved to
so it
this app.
was. It's a big thing.
Yeah, I just moved
Yeah,
and opened the studio, and this was like the first time. The whole like concept, even the name, and it's like reflecting my life story, my process, my process as a as an artist, as also a human, but um, just going through it, figuring out like what really excites me, what I want. That's whether I wanted to or not. That kind of became the story of the album and the project, and releasing it. So rebirth is the rebirth of me, as an artist,
yeah.
as a musician, and I worked on it probably for 2 years. Um,
Oh, easy.
Easy. No,
Easy. Worth it.
it could have been a lot more, but I think also there was a lot of like technical exploring of different techniques of how to make this type of music alongside what the
Sure.
music should be. Um,
Hmm.
but I'll give myself credit. I didn't throw out any tracks. Like even if
Huge.
I came such a long way just in learning how to produce better bass music in 2 years. But the track I started, 2 years ago, I kept with it, and I went with it because
That's amazing.
I really honor that certain point of time and that producer I was when I wrote that track. It was
Hmm.
very important for me to keep everything in. Um,
Were you always like this, or that's just specifically for that project? You're like, I'm going with whatever I started matters.
I'm 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 a lot like that. I think I know a lot of people make.
That's
I
amazing.
think a lot. Yeah, I know a lot of people make tracks. They finish them. They never put them out, or they delete the project in a angry moment.
Yeah, man, all of us, all of us do
I don't really
that.
like. I'm pretty committed to a track or an idea, and even if it doesn't work, so I'll put it aside. I'll get back to it a few months later, and I'll try and figure out what's not working for me and change it. Um,
That's amazing, man.
maybe it's a time waster. I don't. I don't know. I don't know.
No, I really
Yeah.
appreciate it. I like I find I don't think I would change to be that person. I feel like there's I very my thing is like to do no cut like it's very go 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 go. I remember like who was it? I talked to another friend here, and he's this Tom Baker,
Mm.
psychedelic techno artist here in Australia. Also fucking doing amazing music, and he's the same. He just he doesn't trash tracks. He just like if he started, he finishes. He doesn't just have loops lying around. He just goes and finishes the project, which
Wow.
is I don't think I know
No,
anyone
I
that
have
does
loops
that.
lying around. I have 30 projects.
Oh, I'm sure I have loops
Yeah.
lying around, but like like he the same thing. Like he finishes the things that he yeah. Anyway, it's very rare to hear someone
That, no,
someone doing that.
it's a very interesting topic. I think about it a lot, actually. Um, Especially like I said, that certain person you were, and this is from Rick Rubin. I don't know if you're a fan or not, but
Yeah, yeah,
I have
yeah.
the book.
Of
I have the
course.
book here. I try and read it every day. Just keep
Yeah,
going.
man. The
The
Bible.
Bible, yeah. So I understood the concept fully from him, which is that certain person you were starting that track. It's not a week can go by. You're not the same person. You've been through so much. You had so much, information and influence from the art from the outside affect you and your choices and how you hear things and how you perceive things.
Hmm.
Um, so it's very hard to start something, work on something else, come back to another thing, and be in that same mindset. So it's also hard to stay focused on something and really feel it. But if I have the if I have like the energy and the concentration, and if something feels good, I will run with it. Like I would put blindfolds on me and stay in that,
Yeah,
you know. Um,
yeah.
and that's like the really magic feeling. And I had one track from this upcoming EP that I finished in a week because of that feeling.
Amazing.
Um, Never happens to me, man. Never. I like takes
Oh,
takes
really?
months, weeks, months. It's so hard, but
Yeah,
that one just, everything pour out of me, and I
yeah.
honored that. I honored that energy, that music that wants to come through, and I stayed with it. And every day, like clockwork, my session hours focused on that, just to let it come out. Um, and I have a lot of other tracks that I started, and something didn't feel right. I didn't feel so inspired to keep on, and I put it aside. And it's hard to get back and finish it now. But again,
That
I'm not
is
thrashing it.
e- exactly what you're saying. Like for me, what the Rick Rubin thing,
Mm.
I would take it exactly to what you said. Like with the like I because that feeling is in a way my is how I know. I know if I'm having a good session is if I'm having that
The
feeling
excitement,
or close to that
the
feeling.
energy.
Yeah. It was just like things are moving. And if things are not moving, it's going to be one of those loops that would just stay there. And I know it already. I save it anyway, even though I know I should just trash it so I wouldn't have to go back to it. But if I don't have the go, go, go feeling, the flow, I know I should put it aside. And that is actually where I would take that. I would take that to acknowledge the fact that if he didn't have this one banging session, I would actually know that I shouldn't be trying to have the second session be that session, which can totally happen, like for sure. My one of my favorite tracks that I've ever made, which I don't really have favorite tracks that I've made. I don't really like my music that much, Like I obviously it's my music, but
No, we all feel
I
the
can
same. We
genuinely
all
tell you
feel the
that.
same for
Yeah, I have like
than
three that
anything
I'm
else,
like
right? Your music.
like I'm proud of. Yeah, everything else is like I'm happy that it's out and it's fine. But yeah, I have one track that I did it like 4 years before, and it was just there. It was just somewhere on a hard drive, and a mate asked me for a track for VA, and I looked for some loops, and I was like, oh, I'll just check the hard drive. I put this one out. I was like, wow, this is actually cool, and I had like 2 sessions I think on it, and I finished it, and it's one of my favorite tracks. And that is the absolute opposite of how I think things should go. But obviously it works, like it's just the flow comes and you're the point of view being there, when it comes, which I think Rick Rubin
Also
talks
says
about
that,
as
yeah.
well.
I was just gonna say,
Um,
like, when you feel that,
yeah,
he calls it like, I don't know, creative energy tapping in from the other side of the universe or
fully.
something. I really try. I could be like lying on the couch watching Netflix or something. I have like, it's not even an idea. It's like a feeling of creativity coming through, and I really try.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say I always do that, but I try to jump up, get into the studio, and act on that because it's such a
yeah.
rare feeling. It has to be, exploited and used.
How do you start sessions? Do you have like a sound design session and then something sparks an idea, or you have an idea and you try to recreate it in Ableton?
I might have an idea or like a concept of something to try and make.
Yeah,
And it might be starting like from the music side, like a melody or a pad or something, that to build up like a musical concept, or it could be just a sound design session that, okay, fitting drums on that sounds cool, and I like that groove, and the bizarre thing that came out
right.
from the mud pie, and working on that. Um, it really depends. It really depends, and yeah, a lot of tracks just start as yeah, as an idea, as a concept, but sometimes also with the album and also the EP I'm writing now, I really try for the whole release to have like a story behind it. So that means like hearing it as one set, as one story. So like the outro goes straight into the intro, like a seamless kind of transition. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and that makes it hard because I have a track. I want to write the next part of the story. I might not be in the right place to write that, or I don't even know what that is. So there's a lot of trial and error, a lot of things that start, and then I'll say, actually, this isn't track two. This is not the next part of the story. So I'll put it aside and I'll try again. Um,
Just making it harder on yourself. You're just like
I am,
finding more.
I'm
It's such an artist thing to do. It's such a like the art has to like speak louder than the rational. That you're like,
it was
yeah,
hard.
man. I had it in a few things. It's also funny because then like you actually play it in a set,
It
and
does,
it's not
yeah,
like
no, you
this will
play,
come
you
after this. Like that experience, yeah. That's I remember when can't remember who told me that. I think it was like Arthur Whitebear. We used to work so much together, and he would put the outro of a track, and then the intro, the next one would he would work on the intro regarding the outro of where it would be in the set. So like that's how we would make the tracks, and that's how I used to. That's how I make tracks now,
makes sense.
and that yeah, it makes sense. But also then you change the sets. It's like sometimes you kind of go
Of
from the
course.
for me it's like from the mid tempo to the down tempo to the and then you might as well just like it doesn't even matter at some point, which is very hard with the bass music because it's not the 4/4. It's very hard to like because tracks have a bit more story in them. I don't know if that's the right thing to the right way of saying it, but as a bass producer, I think you understand what I'm saying. Like the way you go from point A to point B in four to the floor music, it could just kind of start with kick hi-hat and it can end with kick hi-hat and whatever happened in between. But you still have like 16 to 32 bars in the beginning and the
Yeah,
end. But you don't really have that in bass music. You kind of start with a pad and end with a pad.
yeah.
Like that's and then you bring in a new story to come
Mhm.
in and it doesn't always fit the same.
It's not
So yeah, it's kind of harder to mix in that way.
it's not exactly about the it is also, but not only about like the tails and the head of the intro outro. It was mostly like the story that follows each track and what it makes you feel. And you're right to say that it's different
Yeah.
when I play shows. But it wasn't for that. I was thinking of someone hitting play on a full album, most likely at home, in the car,
Yeah.
whatever. I want them to have that journey. I want them to feel that story. And that was actually one of the most,
Yeah.
I'm getting goosebumps, feedbacks that I got from people coming up to me after telling me, I felt like the story. I felt what you were trying to say beyond the music. Like, I get you. I get the whole concept of it, and it was like so moving for me because I had no idea that people would actually feel that. I didn't really talk about it or market it like with the release of the. I only said it like I only wanted people to hear it not in shuffle like on the that was the only instructions I gave. And yeah, so that's what I wanted for the album, and I don't think it would make sense for me to come to, to play a gig and play the album in that order because it's not what I want for the party
Right.
atmosphere, for the vibe, for the dancing. Could be interesting and maybe in a different kind of event, but typical parties I play, it's dissected. I have certain places where I put certain tracks from the album. But I think
Right.
mostly people would listen to it um, with their headphones at home in the car. So
Yeah.
having
It reminds me of another thing that Rick Rubin kind of talks about, where he talks about you do whatever's best for the piece of art. Like it's not about
that view,
anything else. It's about
yeah.
what's the next best thing for the piece of art, and that's very similar.
Mhm.
Like the way you approach it. Like it's such a. I love that part of the book. I think it's actually coming from when he talks about collaborations,
Mhm.
but you can take it to you and yourself. Trying to decide what's the next thing to do. The two voices that you have, and it's not actually about you. It's about what the piece of art kind of what she wants to become. Um, I before we close up, I want one question.
Sure.
What's the best like tip for like a younger producer now on the music business side of things? Like, what's the like number one thing that is a must for someone to like make, as someone that worked like music was their work for like a decade, which
Yeah,
is insane. It's amazing. Yeah, how do you do that? What's the thing? What's the juice?
it's a good question. Um, just on the business side of things, you're saying how to
If the business side of things, you would say music is more important than anything, which is very relevant. That's still a business. That's a fair thing
I'll,
to say.
I'll be a bit weird and saying first of all is setting a clear set of goals and what you're out to achieve, understanding it fully. Um, if your sole purpose is to make music, is to make money from music or from whatever, there's a very certain thing you need to do. I'm honestly not sure what that is. Could be focusing on I don't know, music for playlists or making sample packs or doing a number of things. I'm not sure exactly. Um, if it's making art and making it enough in a way to for it to be sustainable, I think also first of all understanding that doing the best music you can, um, being present on social media. We talked about that. I think there's either way. That's the best. It not the best, probably the only way for you to really connect to an audience and get whatever you're trying to say out there. So understand what works for you and how to do that, and being um, persistent and consistent with that, as hard as it may be. And I'm
Yeah.
saying this out myself. I don't put out enough content as I would like. But I think learning also being patient. There's so many things. Like I went all over the place with my answer, but um,
All of those are very good though. Like that's I'm
I
with you.
don't I don't know what's the best thing to do. I think mostly understanding what you want to do, learning and being patient on how to do that. Whether if it's through content and you want to make a living and want to make music through want your business to be around content creation, it's a very specific thing. And there's so much you can learn and reference from online, and people make amazing living by that. I know because I know how much Waves pays outside creators to make videos for them,
Mm.
and it's a huge market. It's a huge market, and if you're good at it and you have passion for music and passion for teaching this kind of niche and tutorial style, so it's definitely worth checking out. And
Is there someone that teaches musicians how to do that? Is there like someone that is,
how to make content, you said?
yeah, yeah,
We might have something here. We'll talk about it offline.
huge, huge man. I was about to say for anyone that listens, they should go follow that person, but everyone should go follow
I
Yanan because
think no,
he's gonna make a
I
course
think I
for us
saw
all.
someone on TikTok who makes content about creating content for musicians. And
Huge, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I'm sure there's
yeah,
something.
I'm sure
Yeah,
there are a lot, but that one is someone that I kind of bumped across. And he said something very interesting, which I still take with me. It's like finding the right persona to represent online. Again, that follows both what you're trying to achieve, and who you're trying to be with the music. But there was like the performer putting content of him performing. There's a tutorial. There's I forgot it now, but there's like 7 different personas which you can really adapt
mm.
to what you want to be and how you want to be represented um, online. Another thing I'll say is use AI, ChatGPT, whatever, to help you plan and stay consistent. You can even go deeper now, with like all these AI agents who make content and put it out for you. Um, that's a bit of a different kind of thing. But there's a lot of ways to, again, if you're treating it as like a machine or kind of factory to producing. So using AI can definitely help. And again, yeah, learning, staying consistent, staying patient, and enjoying what you do. I think don't do anything against what you like and are passionate about. just for your own your own sanity, I think.
Hell yeah, brother. Amazing, man. Thank
Yeah.
you so
Wow, this
much.
hour flew by.
Let's cap it here. But yeah, man, I was about to say, let's do one more very soon because I
Talk
have
about
more
everything.
questions.
Yeah, there's
But
stuff to talk
yeah, I have to go.
about.
Yeah, man. Just so next up is an EP that's coming. Are you gonna self-release
Yeah,
that?
I'm probably gonna self-release that. I have some remixes coming out, official remixes, and
Nice.
yeah, shows. Oh,
Remixing people remix the album,
no, my,
or you
me
remix other people.
remixing. I have a remix
Sick,
for Symbolico coming out. Uh,
sick,
yeah, I don't
awesome.
know exactly. 3 weeks from now, probably. I don't know when this podcast is coming
Oh,
out.
awesome.
Um,
Probably in just a few
just a
days.
few days. Okay, so yeah, so that's coming up. And yeah, if you're just discovering me, give me a like, a follow, all that. Listen to the album, and hope you like it. And yeah, this was fun. Shachar, thank you for inviting me.
Hell yeah, love you, brother.
Big hug, man.
Cool. Let's
Be in touch.
big hugs. How do I do this? Stopped recording. Here we go. עברית, אחי.